is life-changing. Do you hear me? I am not even a coffee drinker, but your girl is drinking it now. A Black-owned company. I support Black businesses. And I said, you know what? One day I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to try it. And now I love it. I use it every single day. Today we are talking about all the lessons I wish I had learned before I turned 40. It could have stopped me from staying in the wrong relationships for too long. It could have stopped me from feeling like I was behind in some way. And I want to share with you the lessons that I've learned, so hopefully you won't make the same mistakes I have. And even if you have made those mistakes, it is never too late to change. It is never too late to choose a different route. You get to choose every single day. I guess that's lesson number 1. Let's go. If there is one lesson that rules them all, this is the one. The first lesson: don't live your life by a checklist. I wish I had learned that sooner. I wish I had learned that, yes, you have to go to school. You have to get your degrees and things if that's what you want to do. But then you get to decide what's next for you. Do not live your life by a checklist, or at least somebody else's checklist. If you're gonna do it, make sure it's yours. Another life lesson that I wish I had learned before I turned 40 is you can change your mind whenever you want, when it comes to your career path, when it comes to your education, when it comes to who you choose to partner up with, whether or not you choose to partner up with somebody or have children, any of those things, you can change your mind and not feel bad about that, right? And I wish somebody had told me that. I just felt like, you get to a certain point in life, right? And a lot of us have an idea of what we want our lives to look like. And then we also have an idea of how we're going to attain that, how we're going to get there, how we're going to be successful, how we measure our success, all of that, right? And if something goes off course a little bit, sometimes you get discouraged and you're like, well, dang, it's not going exactly as I had it planned. Now what? Now what is you get to pivot. You get to decide what you do next or whether or not you do anything else at all, right? So if you've decided I'm going to do this and the course you were taking to get there is altered in any way, you can change your mind. Keep that in mind. There was this one day I had done Dish Nation, which is like one of my favorite places to work. I just love the people there. I love just the vibes at Dish Nation. Anyway, left Dish Nation, came home, right? So I've got like a face full of makeup on, my hair, my outfit looking all cute and good, feeling myself. And there's a sink full of dishes. So I went from Dish Nation to the dishes in the sink. If that doesn't humble you, I don't know what will. Another lesson that I feel like I'm just now learning is you have to stop working on being an obedient and good daughter or a good child and start being true to yourself. That could mean changing your hairstyle, as I have done. That could mean no longer checking in when you make decisions, right? Check in with yourself first. So stop being just a good daughter or a good child. You're a grown person now. Make decisions for yourself and trust yourself. I love this shroom coffee. Y'all hear me? And the thing about it is I'm gonna have to travel with that because where are you gonna get shroom coffee, Melissa? Here's another lesson that I wish I had learned before I turned 40. You do not have to maintain relationships with anyone if it's not serving you. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about like professional relationships. If you have a business or something and for your business, you have to maintain a relationship in order to sustain yourself, that's one thing. But in your personal life, you don't have to be friends with anybody you don't want to be friends with. And you can create new boundaries to distance yourself from even like family members. If that relationship isn't serving you, I like fresh green onions in various dishes that I make. Trim these up and they'll just keep on growing, right? I trim off the dead parts too because that's kind of gross, right? But these are so delicious on top of a baked potato, which I will have later today. When it comes to cutting someone out of your life, it's really this simple. See that? Gone, shorter. And it really does change how you see yourself. Once you have decided that there's a relationship that is no longer serving you and you distance yourself from that, you create more space to thrive. You create more space to enjoy your life when you're cutting something out that isn't working. Don't hesitate. If someone shows you that they're being envious in some way, jealous of you in some way, constantly comparing themselves to you, cut it. The next life lesson I wish I had learned before I turned 40 is to protect your energy. Don't let anybody disrupt your peace. And it is so hard to put that into practice, but you can do it. Protect your energy. Okay, something else I wish someone had told me, or at least a lesson I wish I had learned before I turned 40. And it's don't be afraid to be assertive. Be deliberate in the choices that you make. Be intentional in why you're making those choices. I tell people all the time, I only play pretend with children. I am not going to pretend with grown people. I mean, unless I'm acting, of course. But in my everyday life, it's about being deliberate and intentional about the choices that I make and not feeling ashamed or apologizing for standing in my truth and for being exactly who I am. That does not make me an angry Black woman. It makes me a woman who knows exactly who she is. Yeah, what? What? Here's a bonus lesson for you. If you are one of those people, like me, who likes to shop at Trader Joe's, if you find some new seasonal item, by the way, seasonal means something different to them. Their dictionary is different from ours. There are only 4 seasons. But anyway, I digress. If you go to Trader Joe's, you fall in love with an item, I implore you, buy more than one of that item because the next time you go, they may not have it. Case in point, I'm going to show you what I got. Now, I'm going to show you, but don't you tell everybody. Look at these. These are the Brookie Caramel
Yummy.
Candy Clusters. Ah! Love popcorn. Another lesson I wish that someone had taught me before I turned 40, it is not selfish to choose yourself. You are the only one living this one wild, precious life. You're going to hear me say that over and over again. Why would you let somebody else tell you what is the best thing for you? You know what's best for you. Trust yourself. It is not selfish if you decide, you know what? I don't feel like going out today. I'm just going to stay at home. Don't worry about having FOMO. Those people out there are worried about missing out on relaxing, resting. Get your rest, okay? Rest is not overrated. Another life lesson I wish I had learned before I turned 40, don't be a people pleaser. Oh, my Lord. Or if you're trying to please anybody, make sure you're pleasing yourself. Oh, that sounds kind of nasty. Either way, don't be a people pleaser. Make sure what you're doing is in alignment with who you are and what your purpose is. That's more important than anything. This is a big one. In fact, this may be one of my top 3 lessons I wish I had learned before I turned 40. Heck, before I turned 30 even. Do not rush big life decisions. Marriage, whether or not to have children. Those are so monumental because that can affect the course of your life for the next several years, the next several decades. Don't allow what other people are doing in their lives to influence what you do in yours, especially when it comes to those big life decisions. Man, y'all, that first time I got married because it was a part of my checklist and because I thought, well, that's just the next thing you do. All my friends are getting married now. I've been with this person for 2.5 years. It's time. Pause. It wasn't actually time. right? It wasn't time because we lacked long-term compatibility. And had I have known that I didn't have to do that next, that I could have decided and been deliberate and intentional about the choices I was making about my own life, I would have done things differently. So learn this lesson from me now. Do not make big life decisions based on what other people are doing. Do it in your own time. Let's put this hair back and do a little beat on this face. So one of the life lessons that I wish I had learned, because it really comes to you at a much earlier age than I think a lot of us are willing to admit, but it's that you have to not ignore your intuition. Trust your intuition. If your gut is telling you that something feels off about anything that you're doing, whether it feels unsafe or I don't know if I can trust this person, trust yourself. Know that that gut feeling is God telling you, maybe not this, maybe go in a different direction. Do not ignore those feelings, those suspicions. Lean into that. It will always pay off to trust yourself and to make a better choice than a quick response to something. Sometimes a quick response is necessary though, but just remember, don't ignore your intuition. You have to learn to trust yourself. That is such a big life lesson. You know, the next big life lesson that I'm really starting to get comfortable with, and it's creating a life that is worthwhile. Like, none of us knows when our last moment will be on this earth. So while you're here, don't you want to make sure that you're living the kind of life that you can look back on with pride and joy? Even the ups and downs, even the challenges, you want to be able to say, I lived a life that was worthwhile. Here is a life lesson for you, honey. When I was younger, for whatever reason, even though I feel like I've had high self-esteem and known that I belong in any space I step into, somebody could this is before, but somebody could look at me wrong and I'd be like, wait, is it me? Like those insecurities would creep in. The lesson that I learned from that and that I want you to learn, right, is that don't allow anyone to make you feel unworthy. Full stop. You are worthy. You are worthy of good things. You are worthy of being appreciated. You are worthy just as you are. Never let anybody make you feel less than or inferior. You're worthy. Oh, yes. This Milani Make It Last. Natural finish. So here for this. Go crazy with this. Low setting. I always spray before I do my mascara. I mean, it's obvious because you don't want your mascara to run, right? So always do your setting spray. At least that's how I do it. That's what works for me and has been working for a minute. My favorite lip combo. I started with the Makeup Forever lip pencil, and they always do numbers instead of names. Oh, wait a minute, this one has a name. This is 714 Full Red. Line my lips in that, and then my favorite, if I could not get any other color for the rest of my life, it was only this one, it would be this NARS, and it's called Kiss Me Deadly. Now I'm gonna press, and then I'm gonna go in there. Not rub, just press. Oh, I almost forgot my mascara. I'm like, what's going on with my eyes? It really lengthens your lashes. So if you're not wearing falsies, any kind of false lashes or a strip as I just put on today, and these are extra, I'll link those. You know what? I'll link all of this. So if y'all want to get up on this, I'll put this in my Amazon storefront, guys. Oh wait, let's take this hair down. Okay, get it all. There she is. Hi, guys. There's a lesson that I want to make sure you get. Ladies, listen closely. This is really for y'all. I want you to learn from the mistakes that I made so that you don't make the same mistakes. Even if you do, though, if you happen to, remember to give yourself grace. But hear me when I say, do not give up your control, especially when it comes to your finances. Maybe that means maintaining a separate bank account so you have your run money, your go money. I wish I had known that. I wish I did. But when you know better, you do better. Now, I know you love this video and you want more content just like this. Click right here and you can see more.